Hello and welcome back to my channel, and this is Game Week 33. Now last week I didn't do so well. The average points for fantasy football was 47 and I got 45, so probably not the most successful week I've had, but hopefully we can turn that around. Now for my team for this week, in goals I've got Petr Cech. In a bit of a dilemma because I've got loads of West Ham players and loads of Arsenal players. So it's like, who do I think would do better? The answer to that is I'm not really sure. But I think I'm going to go with Arsenal because they tend to get really good momentum towards the end of the season. Mostly it's after they get knocked out from Champions League. So I chose to go with Petr Cech rather than Adrian. I think, in all honesty, I probably would want Kasper Schmeichel, but I've got too many Leicester players. So for now, I'm going with Petr Cech. In defenders, I got Toby Alderweireld from Spurs, just because he's been a rock at the back and probably the best defender this season. The other, I got Charlie Daniels from Bournemouth, because Bournemouth are going to play against Aston Villa, and sadly Aston Villa have been on not so good form. The other defender, got Josie Font. The Saints are going marching. Actually, I think they were home to Newcastle. So I'm not sure I'm going to say this correct. But regardless, Southampton are going to play Newcastle, so I chose to go with Josie Font. In midfielders, I've got 4 in midfield. I've got Dimitri Payet from West Ham, just because he's always handy to have. The other, I've got Dele Alli from Spurs. Spurs are playing Man United this week, and I think Spurs will come out on top. Riyad Mahrez, just because he's probably been one of the best players this season. Leicester playing Sunderland. And for the other midfield, I've got Mesut Ozil from Arsenal. And of course, Arsenal are playing West Ham United. I've got 3 up front. I've got Harry Kane from Spurs, Jamie Vardy from Leicester, and Romelu Lukaku from Everton. Bit of a weird choice, I'd say, because I wanted to keep Marcus Rashford, but I've noticed Everton are playing twice this week against Watford and Crystal Palace. Now, Everton have been very inconsistent as of late. They've took 11 points from the last 10 games. And they've not won in the last 3. Well, they've lost in the last 3. So I have to decide how do I think they'll do. Crystal Palace in the last 10 games have not won a single game. Watford have lost in the last 4 games. Yes, 4 games. And Everton have lost in the last 3. So I'm not altogether sure how they'll do this weekend. But since they're playing twice, you probably would assume that it's better to make one of the Everton players the captain, or maybe even one of the Crystal Palace players the captain, because Crystal Palace are playing twice this week as well, and against Everton. So I have to think who will do better, Crystal Palace or Everton. And I think Everton will nudge Crystal Palace this week. So therefore, Romelu Lukaku is going to be my captain. So, my team for this week, game week 33, 1-3, a 4-3. In goalkeeper, Petr Cech from Arsenal. Defenders, Toby Alderweireld from Spurs, Charlie Daniels from Bournemouth, Josie Font from Southampton, Riyad Mahrez from Leicester, Dele Alli from Spurs, Dimitri Payet from West Ham, Mesut Ozil for Arsenal, Harry Kane, my vice-captain from Spurs, Jamie Vardy from Leicester, and my captain, Romelu Lukaku from Everton. Let's see how I do this weekend. See you next week.